So we are January 3rd and I'm about to do what I usually do on my other French channel. I try to make a review of the year and how it went, what went well and what didn't go as expected. This is my old apiary. I used to have about 12 hives here. I had, I think, 6 or 8 hives, and I had 6 or 4 nukes, resource hives, to help out the other hives. So at the start of the year, I did not have any bees here. I did not have any hive. I did not have any plan to add hive here during the season because I already have one apiary to take care of, and having 2 is kind of not a waste of time, but I'm splitting my energy on two places, and I tend to make mistakes and miss something out. So this was not expected, but wild swarms, or I know there's a beekeeper around near here, and he might have lost a swarm that established itself very near from here. So on July 19th, I made the first hive cutout of the year. It established itself in my parents' sugar shack a few yards away from here, and it was in the roof for about 10 days, and there was already a lot of wax. Brood was starting to be capped off. There was a lot of egg, a lot of larvae. I found the queen. It went pretty smoothly as a cutout go. And I managed to make a few frames of wax from what I gathered during the cutout, but I put undrawn frames inside the hive, and that was a mistake. I fed them some syrup. I was expecting them to draw the frames up, but I should have given them some already drawn frames. So on August 3rd, I did the first hive inspection for that cutout. It was doing great. There was a lot of capped brood, there was a lot of egg, a lot of larvae, but they were lacking space because during the cutout I had given them some undrawn frame, expecting that they would build it up, but they used all the syrup I gave them, but they did not draw the frames as I was expecting. So I changed those with already drawn frames that I had. I don't know why I didn't give them the drawn frame during the cutout, but that's a mistake I did at that time. So I changed the frames, I gave them some more syrup, and I left for the next time. 2 weeks later, on August 15th, the hive was doing very great. There was a lot of egg, a lot of larvae, a lot of capped brood. I saw the queen. The population was quickly increasing, so I did a varroa sampling test just to be sure of where they were sitting relating to the infestation level. The result came back with 0 varroa per 300 bees. That was unexpected, and I don't believe there was no varroa into the hive. The level was not high enough to be detectable, so I did not treat at that time. Before I left, I added a queen excluder and a honey super because the population was quickly increasing. I did not want them to lack space and have some swarming instinct come up. On August 30th, I got a call for a swarm that was sitting in an apple tree in a residential area near where I live. And when I got there, it was not a swarm, it was an established hive, and it looked to be at least 3 or 4 weeks old, or maybe older than that. So it was sitting about 15 feet up in the air, and I did not want to climb into a ladder and work the hive while in the air, so I did it from the ground using a pole. So it was not the cleanest cutout I did. I managed to grab most of the wax. I did 3 or 4 frames that were misshapen because the wax was kind of broken up, and I managed to gather most of the bees using my bee vacuum, but I did not see the queen. I did not manage to catch it with a queen cage, but there were signs that the queen was into the vacuum box of my setup. So I had good hopes that I had captured the queen with the bee population, and I did the same mistake that I did with that hive. I gave them undrawn frames, and I added some sugar syrup before I left. So when I came back on September 12th, the result is as you expect. So they did not draw the undrawn frame that I gave them. I had to change those with already drawn frames. But because I did not see the queen during the cutout, I'm not really sure now that I had the queen. So there were a lot of swarm cells. Either I did not catch the queen or they swarmed on me again and left half of the population back. So there were more than 40 swarm cells that I removed, thinking that the queen was still there because there was very young larvae. There were no eggs, but there was no space to lay. And I was still seeing some signs that there might be still a queen in there. The bees were moving around with a purpose. They were fanning when out of the hive. I had some doubt that it might still be queen right. So I did not do a sampling test for the varroa. I just added some more syrup, changed the frame. For this hive, it was still doing fine. I removed the honey supper because I wanted to start feeding them for the winter. There was some cat honey inside of it, but very, very few frames had the cat honey, and there was only small patches of it on the frames. So it managed to make some honey, but not as much as I would have expected, but I was not at the same time expecting any because it was a cutout done mid-July. I also did another sampling test for the varroa just to be sure of where they were standing before winter came, and they had 4 varroas per 300 bees, so the level was still not high enough for me to treat them, so I left them as it was. I came back on September 28th to add some more syrup on that hive. I did not inspect it because it was doing very well the last time I did, and I did not want to disturb them too much. For that hive, I did a last inspection on that day because I still wanted to be sure that there might still be a queen or not. I wanted to be sure, so I did an inspection and I did not see any egg. I did see drone brood that was capped. They did stock a lot of food during that time, so they are winter ready food-wise, but I still had some doubt that they were not queen red, but I did not want to mix both hives together before winter. I wanted to give the most chances to that one, and this one, since it was kind of an ongoing problem, I had my theory that the queen is still there. I wanted to give them their shot as well for the winter. And during that inspection, I dropped the frame and the bees started fanning heavily. They started marching with a purpose toward the center of the hive on a specific spot. I did not see the queen at that time either, but there were still some heavy signs that there might still be a queen in the hive. So I'm still not sure about that one. My brain tells me it's not queen right, but my heart tells me that it might be. So I'm still crossing my finger on that one. And I added some syrup before I left, just to be sure that they can finalize their winter stock. I came back one last time on October 26th, just to finalize my winter preparation. I added some sugar inside the hive with a spacer so the bees have access to it if they eat all of their honey stock or syrup stock. I added burlap into the inner cover to gather the moisture inside the hive. And I added a protective layer of foam to isolate them and give them a chance to regulate their temperature more easily during the winter. So that's the last time I saw them. The cluster in that hive was healthy and big. This one was more dispersed and small, so it fits with what I saw, that there was no brood, no egg, there might not be a queen, so I don't think they had the ability to increase their population so much because they might not have been queen right. So they started winter very small, so my hopes are low for that one, but I'm still hoping. And this one I have good hopes that they survive through winter. So we had early snow, not a lot of it. We had a lot of cold temperature since then. We've had some heavy snowfalls in the last 2 weeks, so they are starting to build up a healthy layer of snow that will help to isolate them and to give them a chance with the temperature-wise. But I see some dead bees at the entrance, so I think they're going to survive the winter. This one at least. We'll see for this one, but it was a good season. It was unexpected, so this channel was only made because I caught some swarms and I wanted to make a channel using those outcast bees as the subject. If they do survive the winter, I plan on splitting them maybe once, at least once, maybe twice next year, and to increase my hive count here. So we have some more videos coming. So stay tuned. And my next visit may be early February with a thermal camera just to see how they are doing. Is there still any heat coming out of the hive or anything? So it's going well for now. So until I come back next time, take care of yourself, girls. You're doing great.